District 6 of Florida voted Republican. You guys thought they were going to vote Democrat? You crazy. Side note. That's where I'm at.
Florida is trying to change the labor laws where 14-year-old kids who normally are constrained by they have to go to school, well, with less immigrants working in Florida, they want kids to be able to work overnight shifts.
Good.
Good?
I just had a kid from Florida up. Gotta put her to work.
How in the world are these kids supposed to go to school in the morning?
They don't. It's Florida. School is optional. I had a Florida student and a Florida teacher. The kids are dumb, and she's actually smart. Zoe's friend is. But the rest of the kids in the state are morons. But she's from New York, down there. She's mopping the floor with these idiot kids.
Wow. That's just slave labor. I am not for this.
Who's your daddy?
Nothing is better than being MAGA. Here in Florida, let me tell you what we're doing. You see, what happened was Ron DeSantis and all the MAGA legislator here, we kicked out all of the immigrant workforce. We made it clear that they weren't welcome here and kicked them out of the state. That's right, even some of us MAGA business owners voted to kick out our own workers, and now we cannot fill the work. Oh, but don't you worry, MAGA's on top of things, because right now our wonderful legislator is debating on loosening the child labor laws here, because our genius MAGA plan is to replace the immigrant workforce with our children, our Florida children. Doesn't that make perfect sense and just sound wonderful? The policy we support is actually detrimental to us, but we pass it anyway. Now all the MAGA youth is going to be doing construction on your house. Doesn't that want to make you buy a house in Florida? It's not going to be insured, and it was built by a 10-year-old. What could go wrong?
What's up, Echo Room Vibes family? Welcome back to another explosive episode of FAFO Season, where political decisions meet reality checks and the irony is served peeping hot. Shout out to all the new and returning subscribers. Y'all are the backbone of this channel. Before we dive in, make sure to like this video to feed the algorithm. Comment your thoughts. I read every single one. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And as always, big respect to the originators and stitches who keep the conversations rolling. Now, let's get into it, because Florida is in a self-inflicted crisis, and the solutions they are reaching for, oh boy, it's giving historical flashbacks. So, in a turn of events that literally everyone predicted, Florida is running out of workers. Construction stalling, restaurant half-staffed, farms rotten crops, businesses in shambles. And the best part, this is happening because of the very policies many Florida voters supported. They wanted strict immigration crackdowns. They got them. They wanted to protect American jobs. And guess what? Nobody is showing up. Turns out some jobs just aren't that attractive to the folks who were supposed to be taking them. So now, businesses are crying for help. The economy is gasping for air. And the same people who once yelled, "Build a wall," are whispering, "Oh, maybe we need workers after all." FAFO season in full effect. So guys, let's dive into the rest of the video and we will be back for more commentary.
This is fucked up. So, Florida has implemented stringent immigration policies that have led to a significant reduction in undocumented workers in the state. In response to the resulting labor shortages, policymakers are now considering changes that would allow minors to work overnight shifts. Consider the implications of such a policy. A 14-year-old student wakes up at 6 or 7 a.m. to attend school for 7 to 8 hours. After a brief break at home, they begin their shift at 4 or 4:30 p.m., working until 11 p.m. or even midnight. By the time they eat, shower, and unwind, it is well past 1 a.m. before they could sleep, only to wake up a few hours later and repeat the cycle. This kind of schedule raises serious concerns about the well-being and academic success of our young students. Chronic exhaustion can hinder cognitive function, lead to declining grades, and create a vicious cycle in which struggling students are blamed for poor academic performance rather than addressing the root cause, and then the conservatives will blame the Department of Education for the policies that they are implementing that's causing this, rather than prioritizing labor needs over children's welfare. Policy making should reflect a commitment to the well-being of future generations. If we continue down this path, we risk fostering an environment where children are overworked, undereducated, and set up for long-term struggles. This approach is neither sustainable nor beneficial for society as a whole. So basically, MAGA Republicans' fix for this is get rid of all the immigrants, put 13, 14-year-old children in work, right after school, make them go to school 7 to 8 hours, get off, maybe have an hour to relax and do school work, and then go to work until 4 to 12 here, and repeat the cycle. And then when their grades suffer and they start bombing all their tests, doing horrible on ACTs and SATs, then we're going to sit there and blame the Department of Education, blame wokeness, and blame everything, instead of blaming the things that are causing the children doing this. Do you think it's healthy for a child to have to work 15 hours a day, get 4 hours of sleep, and repeat the whole cycle and go back to school? Yeah, this is stupid.
America is officially in the pits. Florida is debating whether to lift child labor laws due to a job shortage due to all of the migrants that they have rounded up and shipped out of Florida.
You can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
There are things like child labor laws put into place to protect children from being overworked and to provide safety for children working jobs that they should not be working on. This bill would allow workers as young as 14 years old to work overnight shifts, even on school nights, because there is a job shortage in Florida right now. If this isn't Governor DeSantis' a fuck around and find out moment, I don't know what is. This just can't be what people voted for. This can't be what you thought. Yes, this is going to be for me. He's making the country great again. To allow children to work overnight, because what kind of overnight jobs are there? Amazon, factory workers, stock rooms, children as young as 14? Florida has always been the underarm pit of America. But bro, this is fucking crazy. This is crazy.
So they really are playing 4D chess here, and we're all just a bunch of dum-dums, it turns out. But I connected a couple dots here today, so I thought I'd tell you about it. So you know how we're really mad at undocumented immigrants because they're taking all of our jobs, or they also could be total leeches on our system and taking all of our services. We can't decide quite which one, but let's just pretend they're taking all of our jobs. So we're rounding them up en masse, and now it's come as a total surprise that you have a lot of farm fields that are empty, because you don't have workers. And I'm really surprised that there are lines out the door of all the Americans whose jobs have been stolen by these people. I don't know why they're not there, because they've got fields to farm, but it's not our jobs, adults, that they were taking. It's children's jobs. And did you guys know this? I didn't know that we were so mad because they were taking children's jobs, because they can't even vote yet. And how else are they going to make their voices heard? That they don't want to be in school, they don't want to be learning division and basic arithmetic. They want to be in the fields, they want to be in the factories. Why are we denying them? that privilege. They have had their jobs taken away for far too long, and we have been standing in their way, adults. So thankfully, Florida, always the leader in our nation, is really taking this bull by the horns and proposing a new bill. Florida is one of many states that are working on bills that will help roll back child labor laws, because these ridiculous laws have been on the books for decades now, and they have been preventing our children their only wish. They just want to work. They just want to work in the fields. And they thankfully strip back, like, one, age requirements, which is fantastic, and also like how late into the night they can work, because especially in some places, like it just makes sense to have them work the graveyard shift. I mean, a lot of them are up anyway, especially, I'm sorry, have you had a toddler? They're up all night anyway. Might as well make some freaking money. And then it also takes away like how early they can work, which is great. And for anyone to suggest that these people don't care about kids is wackadoodle. This is 100% for the children, and I'm just happy that I'm finally seeing that, you know.
As well, we've been weakening our society since before my time. I started working at like 13 years old, a full-time job. I wrestled. I played every sport you can imagine. So the idea that they can't afford to have these kids do this is an anomaly for me in my mind. If there's an issue with inflation, we should address that with the federal government, not the state of Florida. So I appreciate you running this bill. You guys continue doing the great work and help change the youth out there to have them start working full-time. Thanks.
Great. Rep Barrington, you're up.
So guys, welcome back to the video once again. I appreciate you guys for watching the video up till this moment. If you haven't commented, if you haven't liked, do that now. So guys, so now as expected, the blame game is on. Instead of admitting that these policies backfired, people are pointing fingers everywhere at the government, the economy, Biden, the neighbors, the weather, anywhere but themselves. Some are even saying Trump never meant for this to happen. It's been misinterpreted. Oh, so now we are reading the fine print, because when people warned about this exact situation, they were told they were being dramatic. But now, businesses on life support, folks are rethinking their life choices in real time. And here's where it gets really funny. Instead of reversing course and fixing what they broke, what's Florida's big idea? You know who can work? Kids. No workers. No problem. Just bring in the kids. Yes, in a move straight out of a history book that Florida probably banned, some states, including Florida, are relaxing child labor laws to fill the labor gap. Because why pay legal adult workers a living wage when you can have 14-year-olds flipping burgers and hauling bricks instead? So companies are already on board, pushing for more youth employment opportunities. And listen, working a part-time job as a teenager isn't new. But the difference is, now we are seeing kids in jobs that were always meant for adults. Some politicians are even floating ideas of letting younger kids work longer hours in riskier jobs with fewer restrictions. Because nothing says economic stability like replacing skilled adult workers with tired 15-year-olds who still have algebra homework. Y'all, this isn't just FAFO season anymore. Excuse me. This is historical deja vu. Whew. Wow. Let's take a breather. If you're still here, drop a fire emoji in the comments because this is getting wild. Also, if you haven't yet hit that like button, it helps push the conversation out to more people. And trust me, we need to talk about it. Now, let's get back to it because this story just keeps getting crazier. And now, for the flip-flop of the century, businesses that once supported the crackdown on immigrant labor are now scrambling. Some are offering higher wages, some are reversing their positions, and some are just outright begging workers to come back. Meanwhile, immigrant communities are watching like, oh, now you want us after all that? Let's be real. Florida's economy has depended on immigrant labor for decades. This crisis didn't sneak up on anyone, but instead of listening to economic reality, they chased political soundbites. And now the reality check is hitting like a train with no brakes. FAFO at its finest. So, what's next? Will voters admit they were sold a dream that turned into a nightmare? Or will they double down and find a way to justify the mess? Because let's be honest, some folks would rather eat a whole cactus than admit they were wrong. And what about these child labor laws? Will they actually take effect? Or is this just another short-term band-aid on a problem that requires real economic fixes? Let's see how this plays out, but something tells me we haven't seen the worst of it yet. All right, y'all, that's a wrap on this wild ride. Now I need to hear from you. Should Florida voters have seen this coming? Will these child labor laws actually become a long-term thing? Who is to blame for this mess? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And of course, like this video, subscribe for more no-hold-barred commentary. Share this with someone who needs to see it. Thank you for rocking with Echo Room Vibes, and I will catch you in the next one. Stay woke, or at least stay aware. Peace out.